what it actually means to be a high vibrational empath. Because when we're not, life gets difficult. Life can be concerning because people will target you, use you, abuse you, and you'll be baffled why, in spite of all the research you do, you are not able to overcome. And there is a very good reason why you can't overcome, often because our energy is trapped in situations that are baffling to us. And for whatever reason, because we've invested, we've loved, we've gone above and beyond for people, we are baffled why they cannot see our worth. There is a solid reason why people do not see your worth. And what often happens to many of us empaths, we get caught up trying to convince people of our value. And it is not great for our greatness. So if you're at a point in your life where you want something different and you want to change and you're tired of being tired, then it's crucial we begin to understand how we are manifesting. I tell people all the while, you're already a master manifester. You're just manifesting what you don't want. So the skill is learning to understand how you are using your energy, what you are sowing your energy into, and how that creates your own misery. I'm a solid believer that we have the capacity to change and revolutionize our lives. However, this does require some qualities that you may not find particularly sexy, and as such, you opt for sameness. Sameness is not great for your greatness. Yeah, especially if life is hurting you and you want to break free. Yeah, in spite of all your knowledge, despite in what you know, you're not able to do that. Why can't you break free? What are you holding on for? What are you holding out for? When people consistently show you that you don't matter and you don't have worth, why are you holding on? Often there's a very good reason why we're holding on. Feel free if you've got any questions to ask. And until you understand how that relationship, those people, those situations are not serving you, the dreams and aspirations you have for your life will feel as if you are not able to bring them forth. I'm happy to tell you how you're remaining stuck, how you're remaining in vicious cycles, and how what you are doing is not working for you. This is why we end up sad, depressed, lost, confused, and filled with resentment, and ultimately feeling like caring is a curse. Your girl Key is here to tell you caring is never a curse. Many of us empaths are sowing our energy into situations that are hurting us. And it's vital that we wake up from that situation in order to be able to shift our focus, shift our energy to what we do want. What is it that you want for your life? You have to be very clear with yourself about what you want and what is holding you back. What is holding you back? What are the situations, the people that keep you stuck? Question: what is it you want for your life? You see, you've got to become unapologetic. Unapologetic about you, your aspirations. Because for many of you, the reason why you are sad, why you're depressed, there's a solid good reason for it. And my ambition, as ever, is to let you understand, help you. I don't save anybody. I'm not here to save anyone. But all I want to do is to show you how you do it to yourself. Therefore, it is of vital importance we understand, where does your energy flow? Tell your girl Key, what situations are you plowing your energy into that is not serving you? Because underneath that, you have an agenda. You have to understand the agendas that you have. If you find yourself stuck, if you find yourself going around in vicious circles, hey, you, Jandel, see you there, I see you. What are you sowing your energy into? Just look through your phone. If you're not too sure about what it is, look at your phone, look at your reader list, look at your messages. the top 5 people are often the place where we're sowing our energy, where people may well consistently show you that you are not valued, you are not respected, and you are not appreciated. But for some reason, us empathic people with a kind heart, good heart ways, we don't want to let it go. We just don't want to let it go. And so we hold on and we hold out, all the while doing ourselves a great disservice and causing ourselves great pain. For whatever reason, we don't want to let go. Let's be having it. We don't want to let go. And so it hurts. Yes, it does. And so when I do my high vibe videos, it's me just like telling you exactly what's going on. So you can begin to work yourself out. Working yourself out is essential. But one of the many problems you empathic people have is you know more about other people and why they treat you like rubbish. And as such, you're already on the back foot. Because manifestation for the things that you do want takes you developing your self-awareness. If you know what I'm talking about, bang self-awareness in the chat, because you're not alone here. But you have to understand how you're doing it to yourself and how you're making yourself miserable. And it's easy. Yes, Jack Star, I see you. You are an empath. Beautiful. And do you know how to safeguard yourself? Because often many of us empathic people, we need protection from ourselves, from our lower self, the low frequency self that keeps us in the same old, same old. If you know what I'm talking about, give me a heart, give me a like, let me know I'm not alone out there. But you have to understand, your gift is being exploited and you're exploiting your gift. I see you there. How are you? I'm all good. G. I'm not going to try to say your name and get it wrong. Yeah. You have to understand exactly what it is that you are doing to yourself. You have to learn to understand how you're harming yourself. And one of the quick ways to do that is to check who are the people you give your energy to. What are the situations that you are giving your energy to that are not working for you, that are harming you? And once you understand that, doesn't mean you have to do anything about it. It just means you are now conscious. Consciousness is crucial. It's a Polish name, so hard to say. I see you, my brother. So let me just end the relationship with someone with narcissistic traits. I'm absolutely lost and want him naturally because you've pedestaled him. You've put them on a pedestal, and as such, you've given them a lot of power over your life, a lot of power over your wellness. And this is one of the ways that you get stuck. So the question is, what did they tap into in you? You have to start to work out, what is it they have tapped into? Narcissistic individuals will find your insecurities. And at the beginning, they'll give you, pretend to be everything you've desired. They'll bolster your confidence. They'll bolster your self-esteem in the early days. However, as time goes by, it's very difficult to sustain a mask. If you know what I'm talking about, bang mask in the comments below. Absolutely. It's very difficult to sustain a mask. And when their mask begins to drop, that is a reflection of the true person that you are dealing with. But because you have the emotional attachment to the individual, you will let your emotions run the show rather than using logic. This is why we're always in conflict when we're in a relationship with a narcissist, because the narcissist is playing on your emotional self. And this is why I'm an advocate. They're awake. I see you, Queen. I see you, Queen. How you doing, my sister, sweetheart? Yeah, I see you. Yeah, they're trading on your emotion. That's all. They're trading on it. And for you, the logic, you know what you should do, but you can't do it. 2204, you are lonely. Absolutely. And loneliness is a big one. Loneliness will have you going back through your phones, sending messages, creating more mayhem for yourself. I ain't lying. Sometimes the challenge for us is when it comes to loneliness, we may not like being with ourselves. Being with ourselves is particularly uncomfortable. If you know what I'm talking about, give your girl a heart, give your girl a like. Let me know I'm not alone out here. Yeah? Loneliness is a very difficult one. 36 years of mental and physical abuse. Where you at now, Jackie Star? Masking is very you end up under a spell. You absolutely end up under a spell. They hold the power. And I don't know about you, but I don't want any human being have so much power over me. Thank you very much. I got to find a way. I have to find a way to take back my power. And so because for many of us, we're not going to sit with the discomfort. We don't want to sit with loneliness. We don't want to sit with feeling unlovable. We go back into the same situations that are harming us and hurting us. Am I lying? We go back into the situation. So as far as I'm concerned, once you develop your awareness around this, this is a form of self-harm. This is a form of self-sabotage. And many unconscious empaths often sabotage themselves. Self-sabotage is real for us empaths. Self-sabotage is real. And if you know what I'm talking about, bang me a heart, bang me a like. I had to go to a refuge to get away. Absolutely, you would. Because it's gotten very tricky. Well done to you. That's a massive victory. Massive victory to go into a refuge. Well done to you. And this is something you've probably thought about for years. Yeah. Once you wake up, you have to go through withdrawal symptoms. Absolutely. It's like coming off of caffeine. I know when I was coming off of caffeine, all of a sudden I was getting headaches and all kinds of stuff. I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't realize I developed an addiction to caffeine. And so it's appropriate that you're going to feel lonely. It's appropriate. It's okay. It's normal. The challenge is how you deal with it. Because remember, for many of us, we're not conscious and often we manifest what we don't want. If you know what I'm talking about, let your girl Key know, give me a heart, give me a light. Lighter. Yes, absolutely. So where you're at, you know, Jackie Star, you've run. Let me know, are you working on yourself? What are you starting to discover about yourself? Because I don't know about you, but on my journey of dealing with the narcissist, there came to a point where I didn't even have to think about him. I was more interested about myself and understanding myself. And I think that's the game changer. Learning about you. You've got to learn yourself. Once you start to understand yourself, that's the beginning of the revolution. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for that revolution. And this is why, but 3 years later, I'm so much better. It takes time. It absolutely takes time. Remember, Jack Star, we never got there overnight. And our healing, this is why when people come to me and they want healing yesterday, I'm like, I'm not the girl for you. It takes time because there's complex dynamics at interplay. And when you begin to understand those dynamics, TikTok says, I must tell you to share the live, tell the people, Key's going live. Then this is the game changer. This is where we're starting to take responsibility for ourselves. And this is why when we are in the thicks of toxic relationships, you will feel like a victim. The vampire days are always over. But like I said to someone today, remember, narcissistic individuals are always checking. They'll always come back to see how supple you are to their games. Yeah. So for some of us, we leave the door ajar in the hopes that we have to be careful with us empathic people and hope. You know, hope and us is a big problem because we see the best in people. What happens when we see the worst? We just there sweeping it under the rug. Not great for your greatness. When people show you who they are, believe them, but not us empaths. No. When people show us who they are, we want to change them. We think that we have the capacity to revolutionize them. And if that speaks to you, and if that is a pattern and a process you're in, be it with your mother, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your best friend, then this is not great for your greatness. We must learn to accept people as they are, not for the idea we have in our mind's eye. You must accept people as they are. And us empathic people have a massive problem with that. Another one of the hope keeps us holding on, holding out for the fantasy in our mind's eye that was often sowed in the early days. So we hope that that will manifest itself, and it doesn't. Extremely complex, and there may be relapses, and that's okay, but there will be a final push. Absolutely. The final push is usually the final violation. The violation where it becomes undisputable that there is no respect and no regard for you. I'm alongside many people. They've picked up the phone and they're ready, right? They are ready. Why? Because of that violation. How low can you go? How low can you go? It depends. It's unique to you. It's unique to your situation in terms of how much violation you can take. But there always comes that point where enough is enough. If you know what I'm talking about, it's undisputable. And you get to the point where the thing is with change, anything to do with change, your current situation has to be uncomfortable enough. The discomfort has to push you. And so you accept that you're going to have to move through into uncertainty. Many empathic people, especially if they've been traumatized, do not like uncertainty. They strategize against uncertainty to be empowered. However, for some of us, in these situations that are particularly toxic, that are not great for our greatness, that are breaking us down, that are robbing us of joy, that are taking our energy, that keep us stuck, going round in vicious cycles every day where you have inner conflict and you smile and you pretend you're okay and you're really not okay. Evening, Nicholas 95, I see you. It's a very tricky situation. But like I said, sometimes the violation has to be sufficient for you to push through. Or in some situation, Tracy Wills, I see you, appreciate the love, beg your rose somebody. Yeah, it just has to hurt enough. Or those people have to abandon you. And what often happens for us empaths is that triggers us. That bothers us. And that's where you need to work out what the hell is going on. I'm telling you this, and you may not believe me, but it's not about the narcissist, and no one gets it until they really, really get it. It's never about the narcissist. It's always about you and yourself. Like I said to somebody today, little last 9-5, a whole bunch of roses. We give thanks and praise. Thank you, right? What I said to someone today is they are a manifestation of where you are at in your life. Your level of self-worth, if you want to see your self-worth, you interact with the narcissist. That's how you'll know how ready you are. Because a lot of us, when we're in low frequency, we actually energize those situations. And this is how we end up manifesting the misery that we don't want to be in. I ain't lying. We co-create. And if you want to break that, I don't care if it's your mother, your boyfriend, your sister, your cousin. We have to start to see and notice. One of the things you do is you over-explain yourself to them. You be there sending them long texts, explaining yourself in the hope that they will get you and get the epiphany. Hello, we need the epiphany. Stop sending long-winded texts. They're not interested. They already have an opinion of you. And no matter how much you try to convince them, I see you, greetings, Kaza, Tracy, they are consistent. Once you see their consistent behavior, victory. But you also have to understand if the narcissist is consistent, so are you. That's why they can predict your behavior. This is why when you gain change and you begin to shift and stop reacting to them. I say to a client recently, you need to start sending two thumbs up. You'd be sending some long ass essay texts for someone who has consistently shown you you are not valued, you are not appreciated, and you are of low self-worth. That is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. If someone keeps showing you that you are worthless, then you interacting with them is symbolic of your own low self-worth. I miss them. Do you want to perpetually be a victim of your feelings? Important questions to ask, not comfortable. Probably best I do ask it though. The people around you are a reflection of your worth. So if you're dealing with unnecessarily difficult people, your mother, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your partner, and they consistently show you that you don't matter, they are giving you a window into yourself so you can be like, I have low self-worth. Because when we become high vibe empaths, because we've been through the trauma, we've been through the pain, we've been through the suffering, we've been through the violation, when someone shows me that I am of low self-worth to them, I take away myself. It's my Jamaican coming through there. I remove myself from situations that are not in keeping with my value. Makes sense? But not naive empaths. Oh, no, no, no. We want to go on convincing mode to show these people that we have value. And all the while you do this, you are doing yourself a great disservice because you cannot change their opinion of you, except that they don't rate you and they don't appreciate you and they don't value you. However, you live in hope and you keep wanting and wishing that these people will have a revolution, and all the while you're there holding on, staying in toxic situations for years. I'm not lying, years. And it's robbing you of manifesting what you want for your life. My question to you, my people, is what do you want for yourself? Most empaths feel very uncomfortable with this because they think that their life has to be about putting everybody else first and suffering. It doesn't have to be that way. But the biggest challenge you have is if you began to put yourself first, all the people that capitalize on your vulnerability are going to abandon you. And we are scared of that. We are scared of abandonment. Many of us have got abandonment wounds. And we have abused our empathy and been kind and nice in the hope that we would get the thumbs up. And so when we don't get it, we go harder and give more and explain more and share more. And then we don't get the miracle that we hoped for. This keeps you in the vicious cycle. This keeps you playing small. If you truly believe you have value, if you truly believe you have worth, remove yourself from situations that are harmful to you. Now, I know everybody's situation is different and there are various dynamics that interplay, but we must understand how people use the power to control and manipulate us. It could be financial, it could be your housing, it could be a whole raft of situations. This is why we have to get clear about how they can use their power to squash you, if you know what I'm talking about. You're not alone. Understand that you are not alone, but often when the situation is particularly complex, we can't do it on our own. And for many of us, we've just been given all our life. It's how we've been conditioned. That's right. They can turn listen, they will turn the cat against you if they could. You know what I'm saying? Whatever power dynamic, if it was the shoe, they will use the shoe against you. If it's your children, they are unapologetic. However, you can change, you can shift, you can move on if you begin to practice some key principles. Radical self-responsibility, taking responsibility for yourself, radical acceptance. What would it mean for you to begin to radically accept that these people do not have your best interest at heart? They don't have your best interest at heart. Therefore, it is prudent you have your best interests at heart. Well, absolutely. But remember, dear Judy, us empaths, we can often abuse empathy for manipulation as well. You know, I have to call out us empaths. A lot of us empathic people are going above and beyond because we hope that people will value us and always need us. That's why we become the fourth emergency services for people. And then we're baffled because another issue we have with is asking for what we need. Half the time we don't even know what we need because we're so hyper attuned to others. You're hyper attuned to others. And when you're hyper attuned to others, you are not in alignment with your own self. I had to say to somebody, stop a minute, stop a minute, stop a minute, take a moment, take a breath. What do you want for yourself? If you engage with these people, is it good for you? Self-inquiring questions rather than forever perpetually be questioning them, their intentions. You focus on yourself. What is it about this relationship that I don't want to let go? Why don't I want to let it go? You've got to turn back into yourself. You have the answers. You're often wanting unnecessarily difficult people to give you answers when they benefit from your sacrificing and putting them first. Why are you giving them the power? You know what I'm saying, sister? Go within, go within, go within. You have the answers. People keep telling me, oh, Key, I need closure. I need closure. I need closure. Well, if someone ghosted you, blocked you, robbed you of your money, what more closure do you need? You're keeping all communication avenues open. And when they feel ready, when they get a little dick itch, they up in your DMs. And now you're in long-winded conversations with people that violated you. You done did it to yourself. I'm sorry, not sorry. I want the best for you, but I think it's imprudent. We have very difficult conversations. You have to understand where you use your empathy against you and you leave yourself vulnerable. Spoke to somebody this week. Oh, he came up out of the blue and just discombobulated me. He just turned up on my phone after 6 months of ghosting me. I said, 6 months after ghosting you, they just pop up on your phone. I said, oh, did you block? No. I said, well, why don't you block now? Because you're on edge thinking they might come back. Why don't we block? What's the resistance? Could it be, Claudia, I see you, queen, yeah, that we're holding on, holding out, living in hopeless hopeland? Not great for your greatness. Not great for your greatness. You have to learn to be your own bestie. Forget your bestie from school. You have to learn to be your own bestie. And you've got to learn to catch yourself. Because if you don't learn to catch yourself, you're going to riggedy wreck yourself. Give my girl a heart, a like, send me a rose and share because TikTok told me to tell you. Yeah? And if you don't learn that, then life is going to be very difficult for you. And you're going to forever be baffled and wondering why you can't move on with your life or asking, why did they treat me like this? No, they treat you like this because you allow it. And this is a reality of your own value. You don't rate yourself. Holding on for dear life. Absolutely. So when you find yourself year in, year out, stuck, trapped, not moving forwards, who are you going to blame? Big Dick Derek. Big Dick Derek. Now you're there on socials having a sneak peek at Big Dick Derek with the latest conquest and giving all of that energy. Don't beg her to say hi to you. You are better than begging. Absolutely. Well, sometimes it happens, right? And then you make that person front and center of your life. Front and center. So when they decide to come all up back in your life, you see their name on your screen. Okay, but you never want to have no block party, and now you're discombobulated. And now you're driving down the road for a link up. Cool, go and link up. But if you play with fire, you must get burned. That's how it go. But many of us, we don't want to hear that. Because what? You're living in hope land, huh? spending all your energy and time baffled by them, and you don't want to look into yourself. You need to check yourself before you riggedy wreck yourself. Old school hip hop. If you know, you know. Sha sha. I know you know. You understand? You have to see what it is that you're doing, because in your unconscious behaviors, I said this today. Your relationships around you are a reflection of your unconscious self. If I believe I'm worthy of good treatment, and Big Dick Derek keeps showing up with his long hand and long promises, and he over promises and under delivers, what he says and what he does are out of sync. The problem is not Derek. Yeah, the problem is me. I'm holding out for the miracles. You understand? I'm holding out for a miracle, and all aware why I am manifesting more of a nightmare. I don't want to live a nightmare life. If you know what I'm talking about, give me a heart, give me a like. But you know what? Some of us, we don't want to be alone. We don't want to be alone. So rather than be alone, we would rather energize the toxic situation. And you put all your eggs in baskets, hoping that this brother will see your worth. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And this is how we do it to ourselves. I'm not the therapist for everybody, but for somebody, you might get it. You might be like, oh, Key, I see how I'm doing it. Oh, this is why your girl Keeley Taverner is often the last option. Many a client have been to see everybody else before. They've been to see the tarot lady. They've been to see someone who reads the tea leaves and made predictions on their future. They've had some NHS free counseling. They've bought the books, the t-shirts, but they're not getting to the root cause. You work with me, we gonna get to that root cause. And then you decide. You decide what it is that you want to do. I can only show you how you do it to yourself. I'll show you. But fundamentally, I respect free will. I respect your capacity to decide. And if you choose to energize it, it's okay. I get it. I've been there too. 2 kids. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. It's not right, but as Whitney says, it's okay. Because it takes time. Just like the lady Jackie said, it took her 36 years she was in. She's been out 3 years. Big victories. Big victories. Because there was times when she dreamt that this would be the case. And it takes the ultimate violation. The ultimate violation. I was ghosted 9 years after he contacted me under a fake account. Oh, wow. Nelly, what did you do when you got the contact? Because sometimes curiosity gets the best of us, and we know what curiosity did to the cat. What did you do when that happened to you? But we have to be very real with ourselves. Sometimes we're doing it to ourselves. We're doing it to ourselves. We leave the door ajar. And then sometimes there's just nothing left to say, is it? We want closure. We want closure on our terms, or we want our money back. These people, sometimes remember, these people will, listen, the financial abuse is no joke. My father says, if you can't afford to lend it, if you can't afford to lose it, don't lend. I think that's a wonderful philosophy. It's a wonderful philosophy. If you can't afford to lose it, don't lend. You have to be very mindful. And learning to practice your nose is so essential. But what? We are scared of abandonment. We are scared people will leave us, and we don't like ourselves. We struggle to be with ourselves. Lakers, I see you. I see you. Sometimes people just need that touch, hug, sweet talk. Absolutely. But we also need to be told straight. And I'm not going to collude in you selling yourself short and going around in vicious cycles. I'll listen and I'll observe. And then I'm going to hold up a mirror to you. What you choose to do with that information is up to you. We must respect. free will. It's my duty to respect free will. But then once you see the game plan, when you start to see the unconscious dynamics in live and living color, if you choose to energize it, understand that's your choice, and you have to work out whether that's a form of self-harm. I did communicate at first, but I decided to block him because he's dishonest. Well done, Nelly. You gave in to the temptation, and then at some point you thought, you know what? Let me pull back. 9 years. Big up, DA. I see you there. See you, girl. We need to get a date in the diary. Yeah? Absolutely. Pulled back. That is wisdom. Sometimes, have you ever energized something and then you've had a little epiphany and thought, you know what? Yeah, this ain't great for my greatness. You know what? Let me just block. I'm out of this man's life for 9 years. And then they want to rock and come in. Let me not give this energy. Kill it dead. Kill it dead. Kill it dead. I'm going for a breakup with my girlfriend. Can you say something nice to me, please? Say something nice. Manifestation is a nice word. What do you want to manifest in your life, my king? What is it that you want for yourself, my king? Where would you like to be, my king? You want me to say something nice? What did that relationship teach you about yourself? What did that relationship teach you about yourself? You see, because us high vibe empath who have been through the mill, we've been used and abused. And rather than blaming, we got curious about ourselves. Big up to anybody who's journeying on the therapeutic journey, looking into themselves so they can work out what the hell is going, what the hell they gave energy to. Because I don't know about you, but I was baffled why I got myself in a situation and why I stayed there. Forget being curious about them. I was curious about me. I'm harming myself. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this to myself? This, Jen, love y'all, is how we need to start to shift. Because then you start to see everything is energy. Dark, narcissists, and empathic people go together like a hand fits a glove. And if you keep finding yourself again and again and again in similar situations, you must ask yourself, what mommy and daddy issues do I have? Come on. Sorry, not sorry. Important questions to ask. What mommy and daddy issues do I need to resolve within myself so I can break free from these cycles? Because often your wounded inner child is at interplay. And because our wounded inner child has been ignored, she will function and dominate your subconscious and the behaviors. If this is too deep for people, scroll along, scroll along. We don't swim in shallow waters with key for change. We ain't swimming in shallow waters. We ain't got time for that. We want the depth of understanding so that we can overstand and move on with our life. If you know what I'm talking about, give me a heart, give me a rose, give me a like. Abandonment. There you go, Nelly. It's about abandonment. Yeah? These are important revelations we must understand. The wounded child is present in our behavior. And so the skill is learning how to bring that into consciousness so you get it. Okay. Because some of the toxic people you're with, their behavior is similar to a parent who may not have loved you the way you needed you to be loved. And that is the truth. It took me a while to realize it was me. He took advantage of that. Absolutely. They always will. There'll always be people who are looking to capitalize on vulnerability for their own advancement. But remember, us empaths, there was also a trade for us. Remember, if you've been in them toxic dynamics, remember there was a trade for you. You got someone you thought you could change. You thought you could be someone's savior. Let's be having the conversation, empaths. We're not all angels. I know I'm not. Deeply empathic, but far from an angel. What happens is many empaths want to change somebody else so they don't look at themselves. We want to change, revolutionize other people's lives, get annoyed when they don't bite and don't want to look at ourselves. You want toxic people to change because then you don't have to change. So you can just keep giving indiscriminately. Why don't they change? Why don't they change? Why don't you change? Why don't you change? I tell you why you don't want to change, because it's harder to do the work on yourself. And there's things in our lives that we don't want to look at. Maybe it's easier to bang on about how bad they treated you. But if you don't want to be banging on about what happened to you in 1985, in 2025, then maybe you ever met somebody who's still stuck in what happened in like they've not been able to get the lesson, and they go from calamity relationship to calamity relationship, and then want to sit down and cry about all the things these people done to them, but they never check themselves. That's why they wreck themselves. You see the potential in others, absolutely. And while you see the potential in them, what happens to the potential in you? Because no one's coming to save you, my friend. You have to learn to be your own best friend. You're giving to someone else what you've not had for yourself. Maybe you want to help them develop their potential because no one helps you. So you're giving away unconsciously to others what is your secret inner child's desire. The inner child wished they had someone to assist them, to support them, to bring out their potential, and you never got it. So now you be that for everybody else, and they are jumping on the bandwagon and sucking you dry. I need to be my own best friend right now. What would that look like, Rosemary? If you were to be your own best friend, what would you need to do? What is one small action that you can take to be your own best friend? Because saying that is lovely. I hear words and beautiful sentences every day. But you know, when people up in the therapy room with me, I'm going to challenge you right there in the streets. We're doing it here and now, because the now is all you have. If you want to change, if you want to be your own best friend, what do you need to do? What situation do you need to remove yourself? What situation do you need to move closer to? What do you need to remove yourself from? What do you need to move closer to? You need to block. You see it there? And the challenge is, will you? The challenge is, will you? And notice, if I was to say to you, block, before you block, you're going to get all this dialogue in your head. Go to the name, hover over the name, and hover over block. You're going to hear a voice kick off. Write down everything that voice says. Write down all of that dialogue. That's the answer. Therein lies the answer. Usually in there is hope and wishful thinking and fantasies in your mind's eye. You want to manifest peace? You want to manifest calm? You want to manifest a better life? Take one action, click a block. If you're truly serious, this is why I always make people do things in the here and now. Is that what you want for your life? Press block now and see what happens. Your head's going to kick off because you don't want to. And this is why I always say to people when I challenge them, you don't want to block. You want to stay in, and stay in is your choice. I want to delete the hold back to block. Well, if you delete, they still have access to you because they can just come in on an unknown number. So it's all your choice. All your choice. But any of these actions will give you insight into yourself. And that's the answers. That's where the answers are. It has got nothing to do with Big Dick Derek. It's all about you, and it's all about your relationship with yourself. And if someone is treating you poorly, then you don't have regard for yourself. And they are a manifestation of that. We have manifested people who reaffirm that we are of low self-worth. If you know what I'm talking about, give me a heart. Give me a rose. Send me two rose. Let me know I'm not alone out here. I'm starting to raise my standards. But Nelly, what does that look like? Sounds good. Sounds good. I hear a lot of things that sound good, but what is the action you're going to take? Who do you need to create distance from? And who are the good heart people you need to lean into? Some of us need to lean into good heart people, but we don't. They're friends we wish we said, should have seen, oh yeah, I'm going to see you, but we don't do it. This is your stuff. This is your stuff, and this is how you end up doing it to yourself. You energize the situations that are harmful to you. You bring closer to you the people who don't value you. That's what you do. And then you're baffled. But all the while, good art people, you don't energize those relationships. Why do you do this? OJ from London. Wagwan, OJ. I see you. And if this makes sense to you, feel free, like, just let me know, because I could wax lyrical about this stuff all day long. I'm in this every single day with my empath crew. Every day, seeing and noticing, seeing and noticing. I'm about to go and do my doctorate because, you know what? I just see too much of it. I see too much of it, and it's so clear to me. What question can I ask? Well, what's hurting you the most at the moment, big boy? What's hurting you the moment? What's hurting you at the moment? What's hurting you the most? What is giving you the biggest challenge? What is giving you the most inner conflict? You know what? I would just rather battle with being lonely and trying to occupy my time or find a course or a new skill I can develop. Lean into people who make you feel good when you're around them. Steer clear from those that don't. Absolutely. This is about energy. This is about saying, you know what? I need to sow my energy into the people I haven't seen for a while. There's good people in your lives. But for whatever reason, we energize what isn't working for us. This is because your wounded inner child is dominant. And we've not done the inner work. You need to befriend that wounded child. Because that wounded inner child is striving to get their needs met in an unconscious manner. And this is why your behavior baffles you. This is why you have high inner conflict, because you don't overstand yourself. You want your girlfriend to come back. Okay, that's okay. Was it a healthy relationship or a toxic relationship? It's okay to miss people, but sometimes I have to miss people and love them from a distance. Just because I miss them and I love them, don't mean they're great for my greatness. No, sir. And if I don't learn to protect myself from myself, then I can't blame anybody for my downfall. I did it to me. Because I consciously know some of these folk ain't great for me. But I don't want to let it go. If you don't want to let it go, stay. But understand, you are manifesting what you don't want. And you're doing it to yourself. And you do it to yourself time and time again. And it's okay. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to reveal how you do it. And what needs to happen should you want to change it. When you want to change it, when you want to let go, it's going to be worse in your head than it may well be in your reality. I'm mindful it depends on your circumstance. How is it toxic? Well, do you describe it as toxic? I never said it was toxic. It depends if the relationship was toxic. Any breakup is difficult. Well, can be difficult. It depends, right? But if you've always been there for her, did you go above and beyond to prove your worth to her? You know, it's about becoming curious about yourself so you understand yourself at a deeper level. If you need to talk, feel free, inbox me. Always happy to be of service to people. You're not alone. Yeah, that mistake I did. I don't think it's about making a mistake, right? It's about self-awareness. For whatever reason, thank you for the rose. I appreciate you, Lolo. Yeah. It's not about that's a mistake because you might be a good art people. But if that person is unnecessarily difficult and they don't value you and they make you feel uncomfortable, then you have to be curious about what is it that they've tapped into in you. Why do you need to go above and beyond? What are you trying to prove? Self-inquiring questions. Because sometimes, hey, my lady Queen Barley, how are we? How are we, Queen? Long time. Yeah. You always show up on my lives. And I do them at random times as well. Yeah. We have to be very curious about what it is that we are doing. The answers are there. The answers are always there. I'm going to pin a direct message here. You can come back to me if that so suits you, but I don't know how to do it. So it says pin a notice. I'm clicking the button. Lord have mercy. This stuff never works for me. Never ever works for me on the TikTok live. Pin. Maybe I've pinned it. Who knows? Yeah. Hey Key, I notice it is, but ignore it. Well, if you ignore it, you've got one of the most typical problems that many empathic people have. We sweep under the rug. We don't like inconvenient truths. We don't like inconvenient truths. The truth is very inconvenient, especially when you have a vision in your mind's eye of how it should be. So when you see an inconvenient truth, you're acting like you don't see and you don't know. And that's your choice. But understand when you do that, it has a way of biting you on the bottom at some point. We ignore it just to keep contact, and that's okay. But as you develop your consciousness, you have to understand, where does this behavior come from? You need to get a little bit curious about yourself, if that makes sense. You got to get a bit more curious about yourself. Where does that behavior come from? Where did you learn that behavior? Always putting people first. So you end up coming last. There's a solid good reason for it. And this is why we have to call things out when we see it. But if we're perpetually scared and we don't want people to abandon us, those truths become very inconvenient. And so we have to ignore them and pretend we never see it. You learn it from your parent. Absolutely. That's why when we want the revolution, we have to look about how you became who you are. And often that is through our parents. That's why I'm a fan of coaching. All good and well. Do your coaching, yeah. But can the coach help you to get to the root cause of the issues? Not always. Coach is going to help you where you are, where you want to be. Lovely. But what about the root cause? The root cause. The root cause is some mummy and daddy stuff. Just don't know how to put myself first. What would you like, Sunflower? What would you like for your life? That's a really important place to start. What would you like for your life? What would you like? Is there ever something you've wanted to give to yourself, but for whatever reason you've said no? Yeah? Or it feels selfish. I'm an advocate of healthy selfishness. Healthy selfishness is so vital. Healthy selfishness is so vital, but often, Sunflower, what may happen is you'll experience guilt. Wow, this is an interesting one. You don't know how to put yourself first. If you don't know how to put yourself first, so let's make this present. What at the present time is getting the best of you? Sunflower, feel free, bang in the chat. What at the present time is getting the best of you? What is hurting you? What is taking your energy? What is making you feel sad? Just take a moment to ponder. What's hurting you the most? Anytime anyone signs up for a call with me, my first question is, what is hurting you the most? Because what is hurting you the most is the reason we signed up for the call, right? So ask yourself, what is hurting me the most? And the answers are there. They're just very inconvenient. You know what it is? Empaths know what they need to do. They don't like what it is they have to do to look after themselves. We know what we need to do, but it's the doing of it. What we got here? I'm a giver. And have you worked out why you give? Have you worked out the currency of giving? Have you worked out why that behavior has been beneficial to you? You just like to give. Well, if you're a giver, I say this to people all the time, if you're a giver, you're going to attract takers. Another thing you'll have a problem with is asking for what you want. This is where we do ourselves a great disservice. You've got to learn to be your own best friend. You got to learn to be your own best friend. Otherwise, you become your own worst enemy. And then we can't blame people for treating us like a doormat. Same here, I'm a giver. And listen, if you don't learn to get a grip on that, there's nothing wrong with being empathic. But one of the skills is learning to ask for what you need. But many empathic people don't know what they need because they're so attuned to the needs of others, you see? And this is why people take advantage of you. They use you and abuse you. They target you. But remember, if you're a giver, you need a taker. So you would have manifested this person into your life because givers need someone to give to. So if you want to change the dynamic, you've got to learn to come aware of underneath your giving is an intention. And you need to understand, you need to bring that into your consciousness. What is my intention? You're trying to, this is your wounding. This is your inner wounds, childhood wounds. We may give because we want to be valued. We may give because we know what it's not like to have nothing. So our wounds are playing out in our present. If my ex wasn't a narcissist and broke up with me over my ineffective communication, my ex wasn't a narcissist and broke up with me over ineffective communication, lack of self-awareness. Okay, can I reach out after some time for reconnection to show growth? What's your intention in reaching out? Why is that important for you? Self-inquiring questions. Your relationship at the moment is hurting you the most. What specifically? Got to get specific. Getting, leave, vulnerable. If my ex wasn't a narcissist and broke up with me over my ineffective communication, disappointed, can I reach out after some time for reconnection? I think that we want to help and fix people because we are kind and feel their pain. Jack Star, no. It's our pain. It's our suffering. We're trying to heal others, but we haven't even healed ourselves. That's how I see it. There's nothing wrong with wanting to help people, but you have to help people from a grounded, self-aware place. Otherwise, you're going to get dragged in the ditch. Many naive empaths live their lives through this notion, I want to help people. You can't fix nobody. People don't change unless they want to. Because of the trauma we experience as young children, Jack Star, you got it. You absolutely got it. It's our trauma. So for any time you've been in something toxic, there's a good reason for it. But often we don't want to peel back the layers to understand what it is. My ex-girlfriend is avoidant, told me a while, notice it. Took me a while to notice it. If your girlfriend's avoidant, it probably means that you've got an anxious attachment. So being with her probably spiked your anxiety. So it's always going to be a challenging union. Now listen, if I meet a potential love recruit, it's not like I ask them, please, can you do this attachment questionnaire? However, it is good to understand someone's attachment. If you get a little bit curious, just ask a few questions about mummy, daddy stuff. You'll soon start to realize, oi, this is potentially going to be a challenge for me. This one's got some serious mummy, daddy issues. Yes, that's the same with me. I've got work in the morning. Can't stop listening. Pure clarity. It's Lolo. Oh, big you up, sister. It's 10:10. Yeah, it's the end of the month. I've got to finish the finances for my staff to see if we both worked on ourselves. Been reflecting. I'd love a second chance, but only if she wants to. Well, your choice. Would you regard you said the relationship was healthy? Well, I've become curious. What is firstly, what is this relationship teaching you about yourself? I believe every single relationship is a window into the self. And if you want to understand yourself, then these relationships will reveal things about you that you might need to ponder upon, reflect upon. My therapist said my child trauma saved me from my ex-abuser because my body and mind was already, not sure what you're going to say there. Let me click on the message, see if anything comes up. Yeah? I'm not sure what you said there. Didn't get the full message. Well, disassociation is real. Disassociation is another sophisticated way the organism protects itself from harm. So, but living a disassociated life is a very tricky life. Big up to all the people battling with disassociation. Disassociation comes from complex trauma. And it's important that we as therapists understand complex trauma, because then it makes sense. Your behavior begins to make sense. And that's what we're really here to do, to help you to make sense of yourself. Yeah? We're just here to help you make sense of yourself. That's all we can do. Yeah? Self-awareness is fundamental. Self-awareness of yourself, not others. A lot of you know more about your partners than you do yourself. They didn't get hugs and after mum left them, this happened, that happened. All right, cool. But what about you? What about you? Healthy dynamic, but I was avoiding the hard conversation about us and our intimacy lowered. Okay, so Enterprise Philly, that might be something about your openness, your emotional capacity to connect. Potentially can be challenging around the aspects of vulnerability, but who knows? If you want to ask me more, feel free to inbox me. You're not alone. Yeah? You're not alone. It's okay. Yeah, it's not easy for men out there. Women, we wanting a whole bag of stuff from the men nowadays. You know what I'm saying? How does an avoidant and look like? I don't understand, Sunflower. How does an avoidant and anxious look like? Feel free to come again, Sunflower. My depression and PTSD keep me in bed for days. I hear that. I hear that. How's your healing journey? But you're in therapy, Jack Star, so you're making movements. And it feels like you're getting some self-awareness going on. Thank you so much for answering I hope it was helpful, Enterprise. I really do. Like I said, us women expect a lot from now. We want you to be emotionally articulate, able to speak about your vulnerabilities. And then when you get too vulnerable, a woman will find you distasteful because you will challenge her notion of masculinity. And if she has a limited notion of what masculinity looks like, wants emotion, gets emotion, sees you vulnerable, and then they can sometimes reject you for it. Amen. Okay, Jackstar, I see you. Well done to you. It's a slow process. You're doing well. You dreamed of this day. You once dreamt of this day, and here you are. Give thanks and praise to the Most High. You are victorious. Yes, she started being more vulnerable with friends. Thank me towards the end of it. Amen. I hear you. Well, I've been on this live for over an hour. I didn't achieve my goal. I was supposed to get 4 roses. TikTok said I had to set myself a goal, so I said for 4 roses. I didn't get 4 roses, but such is life. We are victorious in many. Hey, boop, boop. It's Big OG. Thank you, my brethren. Enterprise. Look at that. I got gifts. Oh, look at that. It's like a little pinball game on this, isn't it? It's like I have a Pac-Man game in my kitchen. It feels a bit, oh my God, Jack Star, look at you. Oh, that's so sweet. Give up. Big up, big up, big up. So many thanks. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Happy to wax lyrical. I know I need to schedule my lives permanently here, but I have such a busy diary. that it just, it just doesn't happen. But if you want to catch me, I will be going live tomorrow at 7:30. We're talking about having a vision. Many empathic people don't have a vision for their life because they're so embroiled with everybody else's. And if you truly want change and manifestation and you want more for yourself, you feel ready for more, then why not sign up? The link is on my profile. I wish I could have put the link here, but I just don't know how to do it. I don't know. There's just too many options. Comment. If I comment, just doesn't make sense. Thanks again. Becoming self-aware after the relationship ended. I hear you. Enterprise, remember your ego is bruised right now and you're going to be in your lower self. We always have a higher self. It depends on your relationship with your whole higher self and your lower self. Lower self is ego. Your ego is going to be bruised right now because you've been dumped. Is that a word? Sorry, but it's harsh truth. My curiosity is always, anytime I've been dumped, were there signs that I saw? But also, I really have to ask myself this uncomfortable question. What if it's not about you, Miss Taverner? Keeley, what if it's not about you? What if this is about them and their choices and where they're at in life? That's their choice. I will take it personal, sensitive soul, sensitive people. We really do take, especially the anxiously attached, we take rejection very personally. But we have to be careful because if it taps into previous experiences with our parents of being rejected, then our reaction to the present situation is going to be volumized from the past. This is the power of having the awareness of self now and of our past hurts so that we can respond more appropriately, because sometimes that rejection is going to kick off the lid of unprocessed traumas. I let go of that desire to get her back, but I still try my best to avoid checking her Instagram. Victory to you. Temptation, why don't you block her for your sanity? You see, enterprise, sometimes I have this with my clients. I'm not going to block because it makes it look like I'm being childish. Actually, we can block for our own sanity, for self-protection. I block sometimes because it can hurt when I see people I love or care about moving on with their life and I wanted to be a part of it. I accept my humanity. I accept that it's a relationship I wanted to energize. It's a relationship where I hoped I was valued. And when I've been rejected, I feel tempted to look. And so rather than give in to my low frequency self, because when I look, I'm further going to find issues with myself. I might beat up on myself. I might make myself feel inadequate. So rather than expose myself to data that will make me feel inadequate, I block for self-protection. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Block her, even if we are both good people and the breakup wasn't. Yeah, you're just blocking for your sanity. You're blocking as a part of your process of letting go. Remember, in 2025, breakups are very different from 1985. If you broke up back in the day with somebody, yeah, it was done, innit? Unless you're going to sit outside their house and stalk them. That's when it got weird, yeah? In 2025, we can see the people through various social media windows, and it can exacerbate the healing process. By having access to her, you have to work out whether it's good for you or not. It's simple. Is it helpful? You just got to ask yourself these closed questions. Is it helpful or unhelpful? You know the answers. And in your bid to move on, you have to decide whether you need to make certain choices. And you can still be beautiful people. I have blocked, moved to another area and changed my name. Jackstar, this individual isn't toxic. It's not toxic. So even if my end goal is reconnection after having this space, Enterprise Philly, we are practicing the art of surrender. High vibe empaths understand the value of surrender. It's another one. Surrender is a letting go. We let go and we just so into newness, so into new things, different things, maybe work on ourselves, some of the things that they said that was not helpful about us, or some of the truths that we may need to look at. And so we don't give it energy. We give energy on healing and experiencing more of life. We get outside of our comfort zone. We try something very different. What's something you've always wanted to do, but you said no to? This is about taking unapologetic responsibility for yourself to protect yourself from yourself. I've blocked to protect myself from my own curiosity because I got a curious mind. And when I start to look, I'll start to create all kinds of stories about what's going on. And it's not great for my greatness. Yep. I've worked on my over communication and self-awareness. Enterprise Philly, you sound like a proper empath. I've actually just booked a solo trip for myself. Victory, where are you off to? Made new friends and a new life. This is what I love to see, man. This is what I love to see when high vibe empaths, when we understand, we get it, and we start to move on, we start to repurpose the energy. Some things it's just not worth your energy. You're off to Canada. Beautiful. Sometimes repurpose your energy into getting out your comfort zone and trying something new. And the more that you do that, we just don't give the other stuff energy, but we protect our mind from information that can drag us back to situations that are not helpful to us. I hope this live has been helpful to you. I am Keeley Taverner. I am a psychotherapist. I will be going live tomorrow. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out. It's been an honor to be with you here and on my YouTube channel. Always happy to answer any questions you might have. Keep getting that therapy, my sister. Keep working through. It's a journey. You've been in for 36 years, 3 years out. Just, you've made great steps, and bring that back to your therapist. I don't know if you have an EMDR, you can just begin to start to work on that. Shona Shayaz, absolutely feel free to inbox me or go to my profile. We have a manifestation webinar coming up, which you may benefit from. I am Keeley Taverner, psychotherapist, specialist in empaths and narcissistic abusive relationships. I know it don't feel like it, but those relationships are teaching you a great deal about your self-worth. And when we're trying to level up, break free, and get the breakthrough so we can revolutionize our lives, there comes a point sometimes when we need a hand to hold, a companion alongside who says it as it is so that you can understand what's going on and you can make empowered choices to change your life. I am Keeley Taverner, psychotherapist, passionate about helping my empaths learn, heal, understand, and move on up with your precious lives. Do take care of you, because if you don't, who will? No one will.